Men, have you always wanted to lose weight but you just have not got a clue where to start? If you give this video your full attention, I'm going to give you a shopping list. And then I'm also going to break down that shopping list into meals. Every single meal. Break down a protein, fats, carbs in each meal in order to hit your protein, carbs and fats target and, more importantly, your calorie target for that day. I'm also going to talk through a few extra things that you need to be considering when you are doing stuff like this. But at the end of this video, you will have a shopping list and how to translate that shopping list into actual meals in order for you to achieve your weight management goals. Why is it important? I genuinely believe a man that tracks his calories is showing one of the best displays of discipline. I swear to God, because we have got all the temptations in the world to lure us, into a path of bad intentions. You know what I mean? We're hungry, we haven't had for 6 hours, we look on our phone, we've got an app. Next thing, we've got the best food in front of us. Do you know what I mean? It's so easy for us just to be average with this stuff. Right, who the hell am I? My name is Paul Green and I'm a former British paratrooper and Special Forces support group operator. I've spent most of my time over the past decade as a physical training instructor, training elite soldiers, spanning all the way across to not so elite soldiers, and even those on the post-injury pathway. Sometimes we get people that are overweight and we need to advise them accordingly. So hopefully my words add a little bit more weight and you can actually appreciate that I have actually got a little bit of experience with this stuff. Right, this video will take less than 10 minutes, by the way. I'm going to rattle through this. Okay, shopping list, meals, any slight adjustments that we can make, and that's it, gentlemen. So like I said earlier on, right, people don't enter this world because this first step, and this is the whole reason of this video. The whole reason of this video is to make the first step or the first 2 or 3 steps as easy as possible for you, because without videos like this, it's just 10 times harder and you don't even try. So hopefully you appreciate why I find this very important and useful to use. Okay, so where do I put my face on this chart without interfering? Right, well, if you you wouldn't be here if you were 8% body fat. So let's assume, so we've got a 20 here, we've got a 25 and a 30, a 35 and a 40. Let's assume that you are 20 and above. And this would be more appropriate if you were 25 and above. However, 20 and above, this is still very specific to you. 15 and below, I'll have to do a different video on that, but generally, men over 40 usually sit around the 20 and above mark. And what I mean by 20 and above is, you can clearly see 15, we've got a bit of a meathead actually. African origin, clearly higher in testosterone than your typical man like us. Lucky bastards. Anyway, as we start to get up the scale, we can still see a little bit of muscle shape in the 20% mark, and still see a tiny bit of muscle shape in the 25% range, but you're starting to see the fat actually add on to the torso significantly. And then as we get up there, anyway, the point I'm making is you will be able to look yourself in the mirror and place yourself in either the 20, the 25, the 30, maybe even the 35. This again, still specific to you, because this calorie target is specific to most people over the age of 40 that are looking to lose a little bit of timber. So once you've done that, you appreciate where you currently are. It's important that you then take weekly photos. Weekly photos are a great way for you to, you look in the mirror. If you don't do weekly photos, you're going to look in the mirror, you're never going to notice any change in weight loss. Daily weight and weekly photos. Happy with that, gentlemen? Cool. So move my face out the way. Pretty straightforward, nothing fancy here. Nothing fancy at all. Yeah, just print screen this. I don't really think I need to talk through it. It's really simple. I want to keep it as simple as possible, so then, you know, you can enter rabbit holes with this stuff, and the food industry has its way of making things more complicated than it needs to be. It's not necessary. All I will say is it does require a monthly purchase of some whey protein. Whey protein will account for about 30%, maybe a little bit more, 35% of your overall daily protein intake. It's very useful, especially when you're on a calorie deficit. It's a very useful tool to have. Another point that I will make is that I like to have two main protein options for the week, and I like to bounce between the two each day. So I'll have one day of chicken, then I'll have one day of minced beef, just to keep it interesting. Because if you're having chicken for 6 weeks straight, you can guarantee when you walk past a burger, you are going to be pretty miserable and pretty tempted. So you've got your shopping list. You're going to go shopping, you're going to grab all these things. Then what are you going to do? You're going to cook your food for the next 2 days. 2 days in advance. So for tomorrow and then the day after that. And it's going to look something like this. A lot of information on the next slide, so bear with it. I'll talk through it. So, healthy weight loss, geezers, is usually aiming to crack down at about 1% per week. But I'm not going to go back. I'm going to try and stick here. You know what? I am going to go back. Healthy weight loss is about 1% per week, right? And at the start, for some of these bigger guys, you know, you're 25, you're 30%, 35%. The start of that is going to be, you know, they're going to drop down by 2, sometimes 3%. But it will level out over the duration of your weight management goal and the timeline that you have for yourself. It will even out to about 1% per week if you are doing it healthily. Right. So back to this then. And what I mean by that is, how often do you see this number here? Friggin' hell. How often do you need to see a number so high? Because people typically undercut their daily calories by a significant amount, do a crash course in weight loss, lose a couple of clem, and then they give up. Absolute shambles. The way I like to work with weight management is you want to be eating the most you can eat. So then you sustain that for as long as possible. And what else does it do? Yeah, it keeps your performance in the gym as high as possible. So what you always see with me is high daily calories, and the calories only ever get reduced if I've already added cardio, you've already done steps, and the only way the calories will get reduced if you don't achieve if you're not reducing in weight loss week by week. So for example, say if your weight has not changed in 2 or 3 weeks, then I will look to add 10 minutes of cardio to the end of your weight sessions, and then I may add, you know, some more steps to your day. The last thing I do is mess with this. However, this is a great guide, men, because like I said earlier on, people typically are going way below this. You know, I was talking to somebody a couple of days ago and he's on like 1,400 calories. How can you expect to work your muscles well in the gym with such a deficit. Like that is less than your body needs to operate in bed for a day. Never mind actually go out and do shit to a really good standard. So I'm gonna talk through each meal, right? There's a couple of points that I need to make, but other than that, it's pretty straightforward. So meal one, you got the frozen berries in the mix. So your prep work for this will literally be some food weighing scales and 100 grams of berries, 90 grams of oats, 30 grams of whey protein powder, 30 grams of peanut butter. It's very important that you weigh stuff, like you weigh this stuff. Eventually you'll get to a point where you don't need to weigh it. You could use a cup or something like that, or a couple of handfuls. But for the start, for the first few weeks, you need to be weighing everything, especially your oats, especially your peanut butter. They are extremely calorie dense. Anyway, so just to explain the slide, meal one, the 46p means 46 grams of protein. The 90c is 90 grams of carbs, 22 grams of fat, and that's 749 calories for that meal. So a beast of a meal. Happy days. The next one, and this is assuming you train around lunchtime. Now, I'm not going to make that assumption, and I will correct myself after I've got through this slide. But there's a little bit of flexibility with this meal plan. Meal two, you have very straightforward 150 grams of chicken breast, 100 grams of veg, frozen veg, and then you've got your 50 grams of basmati rice. The macro breakdown for that, macronutrients breakdown, is 40 grams of protein, 53 grams of carbs, 4 grams of fats, and you're literally just, 400 calories, just over 400 calories for that. And then you're on to a pre-gym meal. Like I said earlier on, this is assuming that you train about midday, mid-afternoon. However, these next two, your meal three, post-workout, pre-workout session food, they can be changed around slightly to suit your to suit when you train. Anyway, so we've got balanced here. We've got a balanced, as you can see, plenty of carbs, plenty of protein. Balanced here again, high protein, decent amount of carbs, low fats. Pre-gym, barely any protein, barely any fats, we're high on the carbs. Notice how oats, hopefully this goes off now. Right, there we are. We've got 60 grams of oats, 20 grams of jam. You know, like your pre-serve, your jam that you put on your toast or whatever. We're getting complex carbs in, and we're getting simple carbs in before the gym in order to give ourselves that top up, that 47 gram carb top up that we need at the start of our gym sessions, just to get us through. Again, very important for fueling gym performance. Post-workout, we've just got a protein shake, 30 grams of whey protein and almond milk. You may think cow's milk is fine and it tastes great. It's very high in calories. People don't realise. So just get almond milk down your neck, or just do water. Take it seriously. Like, you wouldn't believe, like, you can add like 300-400 calories onto your day just by having milk in your oats in the morning there, and having milk in your protein shake. That could put you in a calorie surplus, and you wouldn't lose any weight. The only change you've made is taking out milk. Do you know what I mean? It actually gets a bit crazy when you get down to the nitty gritty. But just by making a simple change like that, absolutely sound. Make sure you buy a protein powder that actually raises your hormones a little bit. So I like to go for chocolate, because I love chocolate and peanut butter mixed together. I think it's amazing. And chocolate, again, satisfies that chocolate craving and all the rest of it. So pick a flavour which gives you a lot of satisfaction. I'm not going to decide. Pick a decent brand. Anyway, next one is meal number 4, which is finish the gym. You are now getting a decent little meal down your neck. And we've changed up the carbs on this one, and we've added some pasta sauce. So 150 grams of chicken breast. We go for 150 grams of meat, because it just gets you well over the line with your protein. You don't want to be scraping the barrel with your protein. You don't want to be getting 30 grams of protein down your neck. let's go a little bit high on the protein to ensure we get that full repair, full recovery from the gym sessions. And less pasta here. So we've prepped ourselves with carbs, but we've went less pasta on the post meal. And the reason being is that we're adding the sauce in. Usually these sauces are heavily tomato based, and we can still have a decent amount of carbs. So, you know, close to 60 grams. A very intense session in the gym typically burns about 60 grams of carbohydrates. So you can see the breakdown for that there anyway. You've got 40 grams of protein, 58 grams of carbs, 6 fats, 474 calories. But the reason we like to skimp on the pasta just on that post workout meal there is because this late night snack is a bit of a win for improving our compliance over a 2, 3, 4 month period. Dark chocolate, 85%, you know, really rich. So you don't need a lot of it to give you that fix. More berries, again, 100 grams of berries and 200 grams of low-fat yogurt. You know, nice little hormone booster, late night snack. And I've got the calories for it here. I don't know why I haven't put it on. I do apologise. I'm going to check it now for you. So the calories for the late night snack is 369. So yeah, make sure you write that down as well. Anyway, that wraps up your day. And like I said earlier on, it's important that you make the adjustments. So the order that I put them meals in there, boys, is based off if your training sessions are midday to mid afternoon. However, 9 till 5 doesn't allow that. So what you're going to do, you're basically going to take the pre-gym meal out, and you're going to take the post-gym meal out, and you're going to run this however your schedule dictates, right? And your pre-gym is going to be your oats. You're going to hit the gym hard, and your post-gym protein shake, and then you've got your post-gym meal. Have to have this in the post-gym meal. So you've got a little bit of flexibility on when you train, but just make sure you top the carbs up. You don't need protein before you go to the gym, like directly before you go to the gym. It won't digest and it's pointless. It's not going to serve you at all. It'll still be digesting when you're training. And obviously your post-gym. So, minor changes then. Changing the chicken to lean mince, minced beef, and changing it up to turkey as well. We'll just keep it fresh. Lean like minced steak beef will similar sort of calories. It's a little bit more calories than chicken, but similar sort of calories. If you wanna really consider your health and stuff like that, then your grass-fed beef and your free-range chickens and stuff like that. Obviously, the expense comes with them as well. I go for these options more often than not now, but that's just me. That's just the hit I'm willing to take on meats and getting the better quality protein in. But again, this doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter for your weight management goals. You don't need to eat free range. You don't need to eat grass-fed beef. Just get it in you. You can even go frozen rather than chilled. It's up to you. And like I said earlier on about the carbs around the training sessions, in particular before the training sessions, notice how the simple carbs and complex carbs to give yourself that top up, because you might be hungry. And yeah, we want the gym performance to be high, whether you're doing martial arts or whether you're in the weights room. We want the gym performance to be high, because if you lose fat and you don't keep the muscles ticking over, or you don't gain muscle at the same time, you're going to look a bag of shit come 12 weeks, 14 weeks down the line. So hopefully you appreciate them points. I'm just trying to think. I'm just going to go back a slide to give myself a bit of a breather. If you haven't took a photo of this, geezers, make sure you take a photo of it. And I'm just going to try and think of any other value that I can add to this. Yeah, just to summarise the dailies, gents, make sure that you do not reduce the calories first. Run it for about 2 to 3 weeks. And then when you're thinking about making changes because your scale weight isn't changing, make sure that you're training at least 3 times per week in the gym. Make sure the hard gym sessions, make sure you're doing 10,000 steps every single day. And if your scale weight didn't come down, me personally, I would rather add in some more activity than reduce the food. I love food. Like, I fucking love food. And as you can see, there's a lot of food on here. So with that, the last thing I want to do, I'd rather go out for a 10-minute run than to take down my late night snack. Do you know what I mean? Or I would rather have 100, I'd rather have more carbs after my gym session than do you know what I mean? Not go for like a 20-minute walk on a night. So something for you to think about. The last thing you want to do is reduce your calories, because you need the calories to keep the gym performance high and keep you compliant as well. So summary, my promise at the start of this video, it was I would give you a weekly shopping list and I would break down into meals to get you started with your weight management goals. I have certainly done that. Gentlemen, over to you. See you tomorrow.